Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome from the Red Bull Ring, the only venue in the Formula One World Championship history to have hosted two races in more than one season. And for the third season running, it's hosting two races this weekend as well. But the first is the sprint, and it's a little bit different to a normal Grand Prix. There are no pit stops unless you've encountered some trouble. You stick to the same set of tyres for the whole 24 laps, and it's only 100 kilometres around this 2.68-mile circuit. There are 3 DRS zones, giving us lots of chances for overtaking. The track record belonging to Valtteri Bottas in terms of a race, and he, along with Max Verstappen, has the most sprint wins so far in history. Just 2 between them. Verstappen starting on pole today, going for a third sprint win. Here are the tyres. Pirelli are saying we could get a mix on the grid, not of the hard, which is a C3, but of the mediums and the softs. Do you go for out-and-out pace over the first 4 or 5 laps and then protect that tyre advantage, or do you go with the mediums that should last better over the 24 laps total? Here's the grid then for this afternoon's sprint. Sebastian Vettel starting last. He's got Nicholas Latifi for company on the back row. Zhou Guanyu starts 18th alongside Lance Stroll 3 times in a row. Aston Martins, both of them knocked out in Q1. The 2 McLarens, Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris, lining up on row 8. McLaren in the top 3 in the last 4 Q3 sessions here. Sergio Perez demoted after exceeding track limits, starts 13th. Alexander Albon starts 11th alongside Valtteri Bottas in 12th for Alfa Romeo. Then we get into the top 10. Pierre Gasly starts 10th. Lewis Hamilton, who had his crash in qualifying, is 9th. And ahead of those, Fernando Alonso starts 8th, with Mick Schumacher keeping him company. Just ahead of Mick Schumacher, Kevin Magnussen, 4th on the grid in the Imola sprint, is 6th today here in the Red Bull Ring. Esteban Ocon matches his season's best with a 5th place start. George Russell matches his season's best with a 4th place start. Then it's Carlos Sainz starting 3rd, where he's done once before here at the Red Bull Ring. Charles Leclerc 2nd on the grid alongside Max Verstappen, who claimed another pole position, his 16th career pole, 1 ahead of Charles Leclerc now.
Tyre blankets on that car.
They shouldn't be.
That's not going anywhere, is it?
Oh, poor old Fernando Alonso. We were looking forward to seeing what he could do today, but it's going to be a 5th retirement from a race here at the Red Bull Ring.
Alfa Romeo got a problem.
The engine switched off, guys.
Okay, we have to abandon this start then.
They're all waiting on the grid, and in a few moments we'll probably see some flashing amber lights ahead of the drivers. As you can see right at the back, Zhou Guanyu has stopped. Yeah, there we go. So red lights and green lights.
He's fired it up.
Going again.
He's fired it up, but he will now have to come into the pit lane as well, I believe.
Settle your car. Let's see what happens then. We're going to get going this time, I promise you. 5 lights are on ahead of the drivers. It's the sprint here at the Red Bull Ring. Verstappen gets away well ahead of Charles Leclerc. We've got cars going wide and a crash at the first corner. Tailwind into here on the inside. Charles Leclerc ahead of his teammate Carlos Sainz. Verstappen leads, and then the 2 Ferraris. Leclerc now back ahead of Carlos Sainz. Pierre Gasly involved in that turn 1 incident. Then comes George Russell, Esteban Ocon and Kevin Magnussen. Here comes Lewis Hamilton making a move down the inside at turn 1. Albon on the inside, Norris on the outside, and Norris goes off the track as he's forced a little bit too wide and runs out of room.
He's getting a 5-second penalty for forcing Lando Norris off the track. You wonder if the 2 Ferrari boys shouldn't just be working as one car.
Here goes Sainz once again. This time he's going to try around the outside. Leclerc's got him covered there, and he forces him wide. And, well, Sainz had to bail out of that one. He was running out of room. For Perez, Schumacher's got DRS, and he's now thinking of a move on Kevin Magnussen. And Magnussen trying to keep 2 cars at bay. As down the inside goes Sergio Perez. And that's a beautiful move by the Mexican driver in the Red Bull. Absolutely inch perfect and under control. Gets past Mick Schumacher.
Perez should, if he can keep it nicely under control. He's already in front, and away he goes. Nice, neat.
The Aston Martin of Sebastian Vettel coming out of the fast left-hander at turn 6. He's heading off into the gravel.
Okay, that one hit me there.
As here goes Sergio Perez down the inside on Esteban Ocon. Under pressure, Kevin Magnussen from Mick Schumacher and Lewis Hamilton. They stay the same, but Perez now up to 5th. They're both neck and neck going into turn 3. And Mick Schumacher really covered off the inside line that time around. Hamilton almost hit him, getting an exit out of turn 3. Mick Schumacher's trying to come across and defend here, but if he does, he risks contact with the Mercedes. And it is that DRS that is just preserving that place for Mick Schumacher. Hamilton this time has got slightly ahead going into turn 4. He's trying to hang it out round the outside. Schumacher just slams that door on him. Big cheers from the fans who are loving this.
Tell Kevin to slow down so I can get DRS.
And on this occasion, Hamilton gets DRS, Mick Schumacher hasn't, and as they get into the braking zone, Hamilton is ahead and he's up into the points. Maximum 8 points going to Max Verstappen. Max Verstappen, the championship leader, who wins the sprint at the Red Bull Ring. Ties Mark Webber's total for the most Red Bull starts. He will do it from the very front of the grid. 4-time race winner in GP racing here. Make that 5 race wins in total.